Hey friends, this is Sketch Dirt and I'm Marla, and today we're going to be drawing feathers. I'm going to be using 2B, 4B, and 6B pencils, and I'm going to start by drawing the quill of the feather with my 2B pencil. You draw the shape about half the length of the entire feather, and then you draw a straight line that will extend to the top of the feather, and put a slight curve in that shape. Then I'm going to start sketching out the basic shape of the feather itself and just lightly penciling in the feather itself to sort of determine what I want it to look like. Each of those little feather barbs that make up the total feather, I'm just adding in the first layer of value and shading and still defining what I want that shape to be. Also, all these little feather barbs, I'm working to make sure that they're also all flowing in the same direction, upward, and trying not to deviate from that, because that's going to detract from this looking like a feather. And next I'm going back in and putting in another layer of definition for things like the quill. I'm picking up my 4B pencil to really give extra definition. I'm lightly putting in dark strokes by the base of the quill to help give dimension and shading to the area. Then I'm also defining the edges, and I'm doing this with very loose strokes, but also making them a little darker, building up more value and more dimension. I'm also adding in those little downy barbs at the base of the feather. Details like that, details like remembering that the quill itself is not flat, it's round, and adding in that shading. These are the things that are really going to define that feather shape. I'm adding in more of the feather barbs along the feather, and you're not drawing this as like one whole piece. You're putting in the strokes individually to make the entire piece. And now I'm picking up my 6B pencil, and with this, since the lead is so soft, I'm actually lightly shading, and this is what I'm using to kind of add very soft shading to darken up areas of the feather and again add more definition. And now I'm picking up another feather and drawing this in a different position. You could always use the same feather if you only had just one reference, but if you have several, this is what helps give character and new, fresh details to your drawing. As you can see, I started drawing right away with my 6B pencil, my darkest pencil, and you can see that this lays in the definition really quickly. And so I went back and picked up my 2B pencil so I could really have a bit more control over these layers and building up these layers of the feather. And I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm drawing this one feather barb at a time. I'm not putting them all in, but I'm putting enough in to really give that definition for this feather shape, as opposed to drawing very solid, harsh lines. And now I'm picking up my 4B pencil and going back and adding another layer with more definition, more volume, and shading. And now I'm picking up my 6B pencil again and adding in that darker shading. I kind of regained control of the values by just starting back at the beginning with the pencils. And so with all of your drawings, don't feel like you've messed up. Like, this is really about trial and error and about trying new things and seeing really what works for you and what works for your drawings. Now I'm gonna go and pick up another feather, a smaller feather, and add it in a different position. And I'm gonna add the same elements that I did with the previous two feathers, but just with a few new details, a few more expressive lines to really help give that lightness and that airiness that really makes it a feather as opposed to a heavy object. And that's how you draw feathers. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please like this video, and if there's anything you want to see me drawing, let me know in the comments, because I would love to draw what you guys would like to see, or what you would like a different perspective on. And this is Sketch Dirt, and I'm Marla. Goodbye.